Ek wil by jou hoor, hoe affekteer hierdie 2 rooi kaarte die laaste 2 naweke die span se preparation in die begin van die week? Obviously moet mens nou wag vir die verhoor om plaas te vind. So hoe affekteer dit die preparation op die oomblik?
So is it off?
No. I just want to make sure I understand Ronaldo's question. He's asking you what your preparations are or how they were affected, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Excuse Ronaldo, kan my hoor?
Yes, ek hoor jou.
Okay. Goeiemôre man, excuse. Ronaldo, dit het definitief 'n invloed op hoe mens voorberei vir die week. Natuurlik beplanne ou die span en goeders. Ek dink vir die coaches is dit moeiliker as vir die spelers. Maar dit speel definitief 'n invloed, dit definitief 'n groot invloed op die voorbereiding en so aan. Maar ek dink met rugby moet 'n mens kan adapt en 'n mens moet ander planne kan maak en tweede opsies hê, maar dit speel definitief 'n invloed. Maar ek dink ons is so gewoond aan om te adapt, maar dit is wel frustrerend. Maar ek sal nie sê dis onmoontlik om te hanteer nie.
Okay, baie sterkte vir die naweek.
Dankie Ronaldo, ek waardeer.
Reinhardt, thanks a lot for the opportunity. Your captaincy came under quite a lot of scrutiny during the final stretch of the second half last weekend. How did you experience it? Because, I mean, obviously you experienced quite a lot of pressure under those circumstances.
Yeah, it was a tough. We were under a lot of pressure at the end of the game. Goal. We were under a lot of pressure. I think the conditions. I think late in the second half, I think we were under pressure for about 8 to 10 minutes, where we only were on the back foot. It is difficult to lift the boys in that situations. I must say it was challenging to lift the boys, especially because you're 1 point behind. But I think that was a great learning curve for me as a leader in the team, to make decisions under pressure and to keep the boys calm. Unfortunately, it's not always easy. I think if it was easy, everyone could have been a leader or captain. And you have to be straight to the boys. You have to be honest and tell them it's not good enough. But I think we still had a chance at the end. We had a lot of opportunities that we missed. So I think we can only blame ourselves for that loss. We were definitely not the best on Saturday, but I think it was a great learning curve for a lot of the guys, and it's not getting easier. I think in a month's time we play Connacht away and Saracens. It's also going to rain. It's also going to be tough. So I would say it was a great learning curve for most of the guys in the team.
And how does Reinhardt Ludwig feel being put in this pressure situation and the trust that Jake White have in you as a captain?
Yeah, it's a massive privilege to have the backing from Coach Jake, to make decisions in those critical moments. But I think leadership is something it's a feeling thing. So I think you must lead by example. And I think that the most important thing is to stay calm and keep the boys calm under pressure. I think that is the most important thing as a leader in a team, is just to keep the boys calm in big moments and just tell them the plan that we need to do for the next sequence or the next play or whatever. I think you must just fight your battles one by one. You can't plan too far in the game.
Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you, Cole.
Hi, Reinhardt. Thanks for the opportunity. Just one for me. You spoke about learning curves and opportunities that you get given from Jake and the Bulls. You're one of those. You are one of the key players in the team that is versatile. As you call lineouts, you captain the team, as well as being able to play in the second row and the loose trio. How have you found that your place in the Bull setup, being with so much responsibility, but also so much opportunities to grow and develop as a player?
No, Devin, it's a massive privilege to play. Any game you play for the Bulls is a massive privilege. I've been injured now I was injured for 4 weeks, and it was a difficult time for me just to not be in the mix and not playing. So I'm very fortunate now to play again. We have great squad depth at the Bulls. I mean, a guy like Ruan Nortje and Elrich, who plays 5 and 7 in Springboks, and I really look up to them as players, as leaders in the team. So for me to step up and to fill their shoes is always a massive responsibility, and I know it's big shoes to fill, but I like to challenge myself, whether it's on 5 or 7. It's a challenge to play different positions, but I think I'm still a young player that's growing and learning. So I think the more I play, the more game time I get under the belt, the better I'll get as a player. But obviously, my dream is to become a Springbok as well. I must just focus on each game and small improvements. Just make sure you grow each game.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Devin.
Reinhardt, I just wanted to check. You were made the captain. Have you had any experience as a captain in your career before?
Yes, I was captain in the Currie Cup, India. 2 years ago, 2 seasons back, I captained a few games in the Currie Cup, and yeah, before that, I was actually only captain at school. So yeah, it's been a while since I've been a captain.
I wanted to ask, you talked about pressure situations at the end of the game, being on the wrong side of the field, the guys wanting to, keep you under pressure. Do you guys practice those kinds of scenarios in training to make sure how you handle them?
We do certain scenarios, Envia, but I think it's impossible to cover everything. It's impossible to cover everything, but we do certain scenarios. Let's say 1 point behind at the game, and you still need to win it. We do train those things, but it's impossible to cover everything. And it's a lot about the heat in the moment. Sometimes you feel pressure like you never felt it before, and then it takes one guy to lose his head or not focus, and then everything is not working. So I think, like I mentioned earlier, to keep the guys on the same page and have a clear plan is the most important thing as a leader in a team.
One more question. I saw Coach Piwe when he was on the field as a water boy, talking to the guys quite a bit there. Is there any messages coming from the coaching box like that?
Yes,
yeah.
No, there's definitely messages coming from the coach's box. They can only say so much in that space of time, but no, there is messages coming from the coaches.
Great stuff. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Andrea. I appreciate you cooperating with my structure. Brendan now.
Reinhardt, good day. I'm sure it's nice there in Italy as well, but in the last 2 games, you guys have started like a house on fire, but then the second half only been able to score 3 points and struggled as both teams came back at you. Have you guys managed to pinpoint what's going on there, or is there anything you can pinpoint at this moment?
Yeah, good afternoon, Brendan. I just think it is definitely a weakness of us now. In the last 2 games on tour, we did pinpoint some stuff that we must work on, especially for Benetton and the games lying ahead, especially in the second half. But I think it's definitely a weakness that we have now. But it's not a mental thing. I think it's definitely things we can work on. So it's only small adjustments we must do, but I think will make a big difference. So it's not impossible to get over it, and it's not a mental thing at all. I think we showed some stuff that we could work on in the review that could improve that.
Just on Benetton, I mean, they're obviously a much better side than their log position says at the moment. They had a good win against the Dragons as well. Just what do you guys expect from them this weekend?
Look, Benetton is a physical pack. The big forwards. They love to run with the ball. I think we just saw their ruck speed is the quickest in the competition at the moment. So we can expect the running game. They have a good maul. They have good set piece. So I think we're in for a big game on Saturday, and it's going to be physical. I think our forwards need to lay a good foundation, and then from there, our backs can play their flair.
And just last one for me, just with some of the Springbok guys, obviously back in South Africa and taking a bit of a rest. Do you think there's a bit more responsibility on you guys, the rest of the group, the rest of the forwards, to make sure that those standards don't slip?
There's definitely bigger responsibility, but with that responsibility also comes opportunity. I think if you take this opportunity with both hands and you use it to your advantage, it definitely shows the coaches and the players next to you, listen, that this guy he's got it, and that gives the whole team confidence. So there's definitely responsibility, but with that responsibility comes opportunity as well for the player.
Thanks. Good luck for the game.
Thanks, Brendan.
Cool. Thank you, Brendan. We will go to Morgan.
Hi, Reinhardt. Reinhardt, it's obviously the same for all the teams, but you guys are about to head into a month-long break. How much of a driving factor is this for you guys? It has been quite a grueling start to the campaign, albeit we haven't seen a derby yet, so I'm sure this fires you up guys a little bit more for the weekend.
Afternoon, Morgan. Yes, it definitely does. Mentally, it helps to know you have one game left and then you off for a couple of weeks. But after that, we're back in it again, and it's only getting tougher after the break. So I think it's 1 week we have to stick together, fight it through, and then when we get back to Loftus, work on all our weaknesses, and then after that, it's a couple of big games lying ahead, a couple of derbies, playing Saris away and Connacht away. It's not going to be easier. So I think it's a nice time to regroup. But yeah, it's nice to know that you can give everything this week and then you have a couple of weeks off.
Thanks, Reinhardt.
Cool. Thank you, Morgan. From Morgan, we are going to go to Leighton.
Thanks, Lunga. Reinhardt, just to latch onto Morgan's question, you said you came off a bit of a 4-week injury layoff. Does this break come at the right time for Reinhardt, or would you have preferred to have a couple more games before you take sort of a break?
Leighton, for me personally, I would have liked to play 2 more games or so. I'm still feeling fresh, feeling good. So for me personally, I would have liked to play more, but it is what it is. You have to adapt, and yeah, I can't do anything about it now. But for me personally, I would have liked 2 more games. But yeah, like I said, it is what it is.
And just the conversation amongst the guys, you spoke about. It's going to be a 4-week layoff now before you get back home to play. Mentally, you got to put yourself in that space to say that, I got to shut off this break that's coming up and focus on the Benetton job ahead. What was that talk amongst the guys this week, especially after that loss?
Yeah, look, the loss was very disappointing. But I think at the Bulls, we want to show a point if we lose to come back stronger. So this week, our whole mindset is just to bounce back, get back stronger. So our whole focus this week is just on the Benetton game, and then after that, we'll focus on what's lying ahead. But for this week, it's only to bounce back, get back stronger, and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Leighton. Jan de Koning.
Thanks, Lunga. Reinhardt, thanks. I'll also stick to the English tone. Obviously, any loss is a setback for him because that team, you guys were unbeaten and stuff.
Yeah.
But there was stuff in that game, especially in the first half, I think, that said, you guys set a certain standard. How easy or difficult is it to get back to that standard in a week? I mean, obviously, you're preparing for a different team.
Yeah, no, Jan, a loss is always disappointing. I think in a game there's always positives and there's always negatives. I think you have to go back to what's your strengths and focus on that. And I think the most important thing is just to focus on yourself. Obviously, you do a review on Benetton and stuff, but I think after a loss, it's just to review yourself and see what you as a player and as a team can work on. But the most important thing is just to focus on your strengths and what made you good the previous games, or what made you win the previous games, and just to go back on that.
Apologies if this has been asked earlier. I came in a bit late. But what are the things that you did really well, and what are the things that you definitely need to improve on?
I think the things we can improve on after last week is definitely our set piece. We didn't create strike pressure. It was messy, it was scrappy, or we win a line out and the ball get lost. So we couldn't build any momentum from line out set pieces. So I think that's definitely a work on for this week. And then our strengths, I would say, we got nice momentum when we did attack good. We got some momentum on the edges. Kaiden scored a beautiful try from a kick. They kicked. So I think, and that's a strength of us. So let's just play to our strengths.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you so much. We'll take Ashfaq and then we'll ask Tessie to wrap it up in Afrikaans. Thank you.
I'm okay. Thanks, Lunga.
Okay, wonderful. Tessie.
En dan sê thank you so much Lunga. Thank you. Goed, dan sê Lunga. Reinhardt, dan kan ek vinnig vir jou vra jy het voor die perskonferensie begin deur te praat oor hy rooi kaart. Jake White is baie duidelik verlede week gewees dat 'n rooi kaart of enige kaart is nie goed op 'n individu as 'n speler. Hulle wil nie daai op hulle rekord hê nie en selfs by initiaal of selfs op 'n span selfs nie. Julle praat julle selfs, maar kan nie regte Afrikaanse woord ding nie om 'n span te wees met 'n redelike skoon rekord. Is daar nou 'n klad op die Bulls se naam nou met hierdie paar kaarte wat julle sover ontvang in die twee wedstryde?
Possible, ja. 'n rooi kaart is nooit lekker vir enige speler nie. Dit is maar, ek dink wat sleg was van al twee rooi kaarte is al twee afgegradeer na geel toe. So dit is maar in die oomblik van die wedstryd help die span niks nie en dan na die tyd sê hulle nee, dit moes eintlik 'n geel kaart wees of so, verstaan. En dit sit die span bietjie agter. En dit help die span sukkel as 'n speler 'n rooi kaart kry en almal moet ekstra hard werk, maar ja, dit speel maar met die planning van die span en so. Maar soos ek gesê het, dit beïnvloed definitief die span en ja.
Ja, maar laat jy reg verstaan, sê jy die julle hakkers se rooi kaart is afgegradeer na geel kaart toe.
Basically, ek is nog nie seker nie. Ek dink daar moet nog 'n media verklaring gemaak word. Maar ja, sover ek weet, daar's nog nie finale reëlings oor Johansson nie, maar ek weet Davidson was afgradeer.
Ek het 'n laaste Afrikaanse vraag dan. Hoe berei julle voor dan hier vir die naweek se wedstryd teen die Italiaanse span dan?
Ons wag maar nog vir die uitslag op Johansson se rooi kaart. En dan sal ons berei voor asof dit 'n rooi kaart is. En dan as hy reg is, as hy beskikbaar is om te speel, dan sal ons net rondom dit beplan.
Ek het net geweet wat verwag julle van Benetton hierdie naweek? 'n Span wat redelik goed vaar die laaste paar wedstryde.
Ek dink dit gaan 'n baie fisiese game wees, possible. Dit gaan 'n fisiese wedstryd wees. Hulle het goeie voorspelers, ek het genoem, hulle het baie goeie set piece, scrums en lynstaande. Hulle agterspelers hardloop baie mooi met die bal en soos ek genoem het, hulle rugspeed is vinnigste in die kompetisie sover. So ek dink dit gaan 'n groot wedstryd wees en ons manne gaan moet man staan. Dit gaan nie maklik wees vir ons nie.
Reinhardt, baie dankie, sterkte die nag.
Dankie persoon.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you, Reinhardt.